Hello everyone, good morning. Students, as you know, we are going to discuss our paper PGDBA 2025. In this paper, question number first is that the number of solutions of the equation tan x plus secant x that is equals to 2 times cos x lying in the interval close interval 0 to pi by 4. So basically student, in this question asking the number of solution in the interval 0 to pi by 4. So we know very well that tan x can be written as sin x upon cos x, and in the same way secant is written as 1 upon cos x, and this is 2 times cos x. Taking LCM, we got sin x plus 1 divided by cos x, that is equals to 2 times cos x. And we know after taking cross multiplying, we got sin x plus 1 that is equals to 2 times cos square x. Got it, student? And after that you can see that sin x plus 1, this can be written as 2 times cos square x. Basically student, it will came from, or we can say that it will written as 1 minus sin square x. Cos square written as 1 minus. After multiplying and taking whole things in our left hand side, it will become sin x plus 1 minus 2, and this will become 2 times sin square x, that is equals to 0. Basically this will happen. So student, and let us consider sin x as alpha, and it will becomes 2 times alpha square plus alpha minus 2, that is equals to 0. Got it? 2 times alpha square plus alpha minus 2, that is equals to 0. Basically student, we need to factorize this as 2 times alpha square. We need multiply as minus 4 and add, if we add this thing as plus 1. So basically plus alpha minus 2, it equals to 0, and by using this Sridharacharya formula, we are going to find out the value of alpha minus b plus minus square root b square as 1 minus 4 into minus 2 into 2 divided by 2 into 2, and it will become minus 1 plus minus square root 9 divided by 4. It will become minus 1 plus minus 3 divided by 4. Basically value of alpha in that scenario, that is minus 1 plus 3 divided by 4, and alpha is minus 1 minus 3 divided by 4. Okay student? And we know very well that alpha is sin x. So sin x is basically in that situation is 1 by 2, and in that situation sin x is minus 1. And we know very well we need to find out the solution in interval 0 to pi by 4, and sin x in interval 0 to pi by 4. So we know very well sin x is positive, and so sin x is positive, so this solution is contradict. Basically we are going to find out sin x as 1 by 2 in interval 0 to pi by 4. We got x as 1 by 2, that is pi by 6 at angle 30 degree. So basically we can say that sin x belongs to 0 to pi by 4, x is belongs to pi by 0 to pi by 4, so sin x is positive in that interval. So sin x is 1 by 2, we can say that x is pi by 6. So only unique solution is in the interval 0 to pi by 4 at which sin x is 1 by 2. So basically for this question our option A is correct, remaining options are incorrect. Got it student? So in the same way our next question is that question number 2. Rakesh can solve 90% of the problems given in a book, and Rohit can solve 75% of the problems from a book. Then the probability that at least one of them will solve a problem selected at random from the book each. Basically student, these are the options for this question: 29 by 40, 37 by 40, 39 by 40, and 31 by 40. So basically student, in this question there is a book in which Rakesh can solve problem 90% and Rohit can solve 75%. So student, basically for solution for this question, let us consider P of RH, Rakesh, and point is H. So basically we are going to denote R of H and probability of RT. Probability of RT, that means probability of Rohit. So let us consider probability of RH and probability of Rohit can solve the problem. Can solve the problem from given book. From given book. Okay, student. So we can say that in that scenario, there is given condition probability of Rohit is basically 90%. He can solve 90% of the problem from a book. And in the same way, probability of Rohit can solve the problem. It is basically 75%. And student, we know very well that if Rakesh can solve 90% of the problem, so he cannot solve the problem from a book is 10%. So basically 1 minus 90 divided by 10. Sorry, 90 divided by 100. And in same scenario, probability of Rohit cannot solve the problem RT bar. It is basically 25 divided by 100. 1 minus 75 by 100. It can be written as 25 by 100. So student, basically we need to find out the probability at least one of them can be solved problem. So problem is solved by either Rohit or either Rakesh or both. At least one can solve the problem. Basically we are going to define what is the meaning of at least one can solve the problem. One can solve the problem. So it is either solved by Rohit but cannot solve by, either solved by Rakesh, cannot solve by Rohit, or problem can be solved by Rohit, it is not solved by Rakesh, or at least, meaning of at least, either he can solve, either solved by Rakesh, either solved by Rohit, or it can be solved by both Rakesh and Rohit. Intersection is denoted as AND. Okay, student? So this is the situation. So basically, student, we need to find out the probability of this scenario, or this scenario. But basically, shortcut method is that if we need at least, so solve the problem by at least one. Probability that at least one of them solved. Probability of at least one of them solved. It can written as 1 minus probability of none of them can solve. None of them can solve. It can be written as this. So basically, student, we need to find out that probability in which neither Rakesh nor Rohit can solve the problem. So basically, we need to find out the probability of Rohit cannot solve the problem and Rakesh cannot solve the problem and Rohit cannot solve the problem. So basically, it can be written as probability of Rohit cannot solve the problem into, Rakesh cannot solve the problem into probability of Rohit cannot solve the problem. So basically, why you are going to probability of Rohit and Rakesh cannot solve the problem, it is written as probability of Rohit cannot solve the problem into probability of Rakesh cannot solve the problem. So basically, in that scenario, Rohit cannot solve the problem and Rakesh cannot solve the problem. These are independent events. These are independent events. So it can written as product of individual probability of both the things. Okay, student. So in that scenario, you can see that probability of Rakesh cannot solve the problem is basically 10 by 100, and probability of Rohit, it is basically 25 by ended. So student, 0 is cancelled out by this 0. 5 times 2 and it will become 5 and 2 0. It is basically 1 by 40. Okay student. So this is the scenario in which problem cannot solve by the Rakesh and Rohit both. So we need to find out the required probability is this one. Required probability is this one. 1 minus probability of none, and we know very well that probability of none is basically 1 by 40. And after taking LCM for 40 minus 1, that is 39 by 40. So we can say that our final answer for this question is 39 by 40. Okay student. So student, this is our next question. Question number 3, the value of limit x tends to 0 sin x upon x x minus sin x. So basically student, first of all we need to check that this limit is which type of indeterminate form. Okay student, after that we can solve the problem. So basically in that scenario you can see that if we are applying limit x tends to 0 sin x upon x, it will become 1. It is approaching to 1. And in the same way, if we are going to applying limit x tends to 0 sin x upon x minus sin x, so basically it is indeterminate form of 0 by 0. And if we see 0 by 0 form, so we can apply the L'Hospital rule. So basically after applying L'Hospital rule, sin x will become cos x, derivative of sin x is cos x, derivative of x is 1 and derivative of sin x is cos x. If you are applying limit x tends to 0, it will basically become x tends to 0, it will become 1 and it will become 0. So basically it is approaching to infinity. Okay student. So what is the form of this question? So we know very well that by seeing this one, it will approach to 1 and it will approach to infinity. So basically it is approach to 1 and it is approach to infinity. So it is the form of 1 to the power form, 1 to the power infinity form, that is indeterminate form. That is indeterminate form. And student, we know very well that in form of indeterminate form 1 to the power infinity, so basically this result is applicable over here. If is in the form of 1 to the power infinity, limit x tends to 0, fx to the power gx, it will basically become e to the power fx minus 1 into gx, and here limit x tends to 0. It is the form. You know very well that limit x tends to 0, function to the power function. If it is approach, fx approach to 1 and gx approach to infinity at x tends to 0. X tends to 0. So it can be written in the form of e to the power limit x tends to 0 fx minus 1 into gx. So basically student, we need to find out fx minus 1 and fx in that scenario, that is sin x upon x minus 1. After taking LCM we got sin x minus x upon x. Okay student, and we are going to put over here, we know that it will become limit e to the power limit x tends to 0, fx minus 1 is basically sin x minus x upon sin x, and it will be multiplied by gx, and gx in that scenario is sin x upon x minus sin x. Got it student? And we know very well that it can be written as e to the power limit x tends to 0. After taking minus 1 as common, it will become x minus sin x upon sin x into sin x upon x minus sin x. And we know very well this is cancelled out by this one, this is cancelled out by this one. So basically e to the power, whole thing is it will become 1 and multiplied by minus 1. So it will become e to the power minus 1. And we know very well e to the power minus 1, it can be written as 1 by e. So student, basically limiting value of this function, that means limit x tends to 0 of this function, it will become 1 by e. So student, our option B is correct, remaining options are incorrect. Okay student, so our next question is that So student, question number 4 is that the maximum value of this function is there. These are the option A, B, C, D. All the options are similar, that 8 root 15, 8 root 7, 8 root 11, 8 root 13. This is the difference in all the options. So basically student, we need to find out the maximum value of this function. So indirect way we can directly say that we need to find out the range of this function. And we know very well student, basically that cos and sin x, a sin x plus b cos x is basically lies between minus root a square plus b square to root a square plus b square. Basically it is the coefficient, a and b are the coefficient of sine and cos. Okay, so in that scenario we directly find out the range of this function from root 3 by 2 cos pi plus alpha plus root 3 plus root 5 into sin pi plus alpha plus 1 by 2 we are going to add after. So this from this to this. Okay student, so basically student, in that scenario you can say that pi plus alpha, here pi plus alpha is basically is replaced by x. Okay student, so by seeing that we can say that directly cos pi plus alpha, it is multiplied by root 3 by 2 plus root 3 plus root 5 sin pi plus alpha. It basically lies in between. We are going to calculate root a square plus b square roughly over here. A is root 3 by 2 all square plus b is root 3 plus root 5 all square. So basically student, we can write this scenario as root 3 by 2 is written as 3 by 4 plus a plus b whole square, it is open as root 3 square, that means 3, root 5 square, that it is written as 5 plus 2 times a into b, root 3 into root 5. Okay student, so basically we can say that it will become, after taking LCM, divide 1, divide 1, divide 1, it will become divide by 4, root is 4 is inside the root. So basically it is 3, and we know that very well 3 is 12, 3 into 4 12, 5 into 4 20, and 4 into 2 8, and root 3 into root 5 root 15. Basically it can be written as 1 by 2, 4 is taking outside from the square root, it will become 1 by 2, 3 plus 12 plus 20, 20, 30, 32, 35, that it will become root 35 plus 8 times root 15. So basically student, we can say that this values is lying in between minus of it. We know very well that this is the value of root a square plus b square. We know very well. So it will become minus 1 by 2 root 35 plus 8 root 15, and this will become 1 by 2 root times negative to positive. So 35 plus 8 times root 15. Okay student, and you know very well that we needs to add in that scenario, that is 1 by 2. If we add throughout by 1 by 2, it will become minus 1 by 2 root 35 8 root 15 plus 1 by 2 over here, and it will become root 3 by 2 cos pi plus alpha plus root 3 plus root 5 sin pi plus alpha plus 1 by 2. And in the same way, if we add the thing in that scenario, that is less than equals to 1 by 2 root 35 plus 8 root 15 plus 1 by 2. So basically we know very well that our function, this whole function is lies in between this to this. So basically this is the maximum value from negative to positive. So this is the maximum value for this function. So it can be written as, after taking 1 by 2 as common, it can be written as 1 by 2 times root 35 plus 8 times root 15 plus 1. 1 by 2 take out common. So it will become this and this it will become 1. So basically this is our option A because root 15 in that scenario. So basically our option A is correct option and remaining options students are incorrect. Okay student, question number 5 is that area bounded by the curve y equals to mod x minus 1 and y equals to 3 minus mod x is. Option A is 1, option B is 4, option C is 3 and option D is 2. So basically student, we need to find out the area bounded by the both the curve y is this and y is this. So we are going to start. So basically student, there are two curves y is equals to mod x minus 1 and we know very well it can be written as minus of x minus 1 if x is less than 1 and it can be written as x minus 1 if it is greater than or equal to 1. And we know very well student, our second curve is y equals to 3 minus mod x and we know very well that mod x is breakdown into two terms. So basically it can be written as 3 minus, mod x can be written as minus x and it will become plus x if x is less than 0 and 3 minus x if x is greater than or equal to 0. So basically student, we are going to draw a graph of both the curves. That curve is y equals to mod x minus 1 and the second curve is y equals to 3 minus mod x. So basically this will become y equal x 1 minus x if x is less than 1. First of all, we are going to discuss the graph of this thing and y is equals to x minus 1 if x is greater than or equal to 1. So basically student, we know very well these both are straight line. So for drawing a graph, we are going to put down two values for straight line, x and y. If you put down x is equals to 0, we got y is equals to 1, and if we put down y equals to 0, we got x as 1. You can see. And in the same way, in that scenario, you can see if we put down x and y, if you put down x equal 1, we got y equals to 0, and if you put down x equals 2, we got y equals to x equals to 1, we got y 0 and 1. X, if we put down x as 2, y we get y as 1. So basically graph of this thing is basically, we know very well that 1, 0 is this point. Let us consider. And student, we know very well we can directly draw a graph, but we are going to explain some things that mod x minus 1 is basically graph of this scenario. Okay, and we know very well that this is the graph of x0, and if we put down x as 0, then it's y is 1. So it basically 0, 1. Okay. So student, basically this is the graph of y is equals to 1 minus x, and this is the graph of y is equals to x minus 1. Okay, and in the same thing, y equals to 3 plus x if x is less than 0 and y is equals to 3 minus x if x is greater than equals to 0. So for this graph, put down x as 0, we got x as minus 1. Let us consider, we got y is 2, and if we put down x as minus 2, we got y as 1. And in that scenario, graph of this thing, if we put down x is 0, y is 3 and 1, y is 2. So basically we need to both the graph draw in a single graph paper. That means if we put down x equals minus 1, x equal minus 1. This is our minus 1. We got y as 2. This is 1. So basically we got y as 2 is this one. Okay. minus 1 comma 2. Okay, and if you put down x as minus 2, we got y as 1. So basically is this one. So after drawing a graph, this is the scenario. Okay, and in the same way, if you put down x as 0, we get y as 3. So basically this is 0 comma 3, and if we put down x as 1, we get y as 2. So y as 2, this one. So basically this is our required graph. Basically this one is the graph. So basically student, either maybe this intersecting point is on this point 0 comma 3. We are going to check this is the intersecting point on 0 comma 3 or not. So basically student, this is the line that is y equal 3 minus x, and this is the line that is y is equals to 3 plus x. Okay, not an issue, and we know very well this point is intersecting point of both the things, that basically is this one. You can check, we will check. So student, required bounded area is this one. So basically we are going to approach this as, we need to find out this area. So we are going to firstly calculate the area of A, B and C, and after that we will subtract the area of A, D, E and E, F, C. Okay student, so for finding such area, we need to find out this area. So we need to find out point F and point D in both the scenario. So basically student, you can see that for point of intersection F, we need to solve out both the things, that is x minus 1 that is equals to 3 minus x, 2x that is equals to 4, x is 2. So basically we can say that here value of x is 2, and if x is 2, then y we can get 2 comma 1. Okay, in that same thing we need to find out the point D. So by intersecting point of this line and this line, so basically 1 minus x that is equals to 3 plus x, and 2x it x taking in right hand side and 3 is taking in this, minus 2, x is minus 1. So basically this is our minus 1, x is minus 1. So we can say that if put down minus 1 over here, so we got student, and okay, so minus 1 comma 2. If you put down minus 1 over here, so we get minus 1 comma 2, and this point is intersecting point of x-axis and this line, so it will basically, and we already done but we cannot write over here, x is 0, sorry, y is 0 and x is minus 3. This is the point minus 3 comma 0, and this is the point x is y is 0, then x is 3 comma 0. Okay, so we need all the points A, D, B, E, F and C, and we already calculated all the points. So basically required area in that scenario is area of, we can say that required area, that area of triangle, basically you can say that ABC minus area of triangle ADE minus area of triangle EFC. Okay, so what is the area of triangle ABC? So student, you know very well, distance between this point to this point is basically 6. So we can say that 1 by 2 base is 1 by minus 3 to 3, that is 6, and height, this is basically from 0 to 3 is 3, minus 1 by 2 area of triangle ADE. So distance from this point to this point is basically 4, you can see, minus 3 to 1, and perpendicular distance is basically from this point to this point. This is, you can see that coordinate of y is 2 over here, minus 1 by 2, EFC. So distance between E and C, it is basically 2, and perpendicular distance from this point to this point, you can see that, student, this is the point 2 comma 1. So basically distance is 1. 2 is cancelled out by this one, 2 is cancelled out by this one, 2 is cancelled out 3 times to 6. So 3 into 3, 9, minus 4 into 1, something 4, minus 1, that means 9 minus 4, student. Basically 4 square unit is answer for this question. So student, option B is correct for this question and remaining options are incorrect. So question number 6 is that if integration e to the power 10 square x sin 4x dx, that is equals to a times e to the power 10 square x cos to the power bx plus constant k, where a comma b comma k are real constant, then find the value of a to the power 2b. Basically these are the options for this question. Option A 64, option B 256, option C 81, and option D 729. So student, this question is all about integration, and we know very well that integration and differentiations are both are opposite things. That means reciprocal of each other. So student, we can say that we can solve this problem by taking differentiation on both sides. Okay student, so taking differentiation, taking derivative on both side, we know very well, after taking derivative on both things, integration is cancelled out by derivative, so it will become e to the power 10 square x sin 4x, and the integration and derivative both are cancelled out. So basically we require to differentiate this thing, that means we can say that our left hand side, sorry, our right hand side. So basically student, there are two functions, e to the power 10 square and cos to the power bx. So we need to solve a derivative by using u into v rule. So a is constant over here. After taking derivative, first thing is as it is, a to the power 10 square x and d by dx of cos to the power bx. Okay student, plus second thing cos to the power bx as it is and derivative of e to the power 10 square x. And we know very well student, constant k, derivative of constant is 0, so we cannot write over here. So student, it will become e to the power 10 square x, derivative of cos to the power bx. So first of all we are going to derivative cos power, so power b is multiplied into cos b minus 1 x, and after solving power we are going to move our function cos bx and derivative of cos, that is minus of sin x. Okay student, done, plus cos to the power bx as it is into e to the power derivative of e to the power 10 square x, it will basically e to the power 10 square x, e to the power 10 square x, and after taking derivative of e, we are going to move its power. So derivative of 10 square x, first of all we are going to on power 2, taking an 2 times 10x, and derivative of 10x is secant square x. Okay student, so I think it is done. Okay, so after this, solving this, a is multiplying inside the bracket, and sorry, we are not required to multiply inside, so a is in that situation. Okay, good. Taking e to the power 10 square x is common. Okay, so basically it will become minus b sin x and cos to the power b minus x. Okay, plus this thing will become cos to the power bx into e to the power 10 square is common, and 2 times this 2 is written on that situation. Tan x is written as sin x upon cos x, and secant square it is written as 1 upon cos square x, and we know very well that student, this will become cos cube and taking in numerator it will become, taking sin x also common, a e to the power 10 square x sin x common, it will become minus b times cos to the power b minus 1 x plus it will become 2 times cos to the power b minus 3 x. Sin x is common. Okay. Okay, student. So we know very well that b minus in power b minus 1 and b minus 3. B minus 1, b minus 3 is lesser. So take out common, e to the power 10 square x sin x and cos to the power b minus 3 as common. Okay. So it will become minus b. So student, b minus 1 and b minus 3 in that scenario. What it happen in that term, minus b cos to the power b minus 1. So basically student, if you not understood, so b minus 1 is written as, if you multiplying cos square x and divide by cos square x, and after taking this as in numerator, so it will become cos b to the power minus 3, sorry, cos to the power b minus 3, and it is common, so it will become cos square, sorry, cos square x. Okay, and plus 2, it will common. So student, you can see that in that scenario there is e to the power 10 square x and sin 4x can be written as 2 times sin 2x and cos 2x. Sin 2x and cos 2x. And we know very well student, you can also see that e to the power 10 square x, e to the power 10 square x cancel out. And it will become sin 2x also written as 2 times sin x cos x. So it will become 4 times sin x cos x. And we know very well this thing cos square x, it is written as 1 minus 2 times cos square x. Okay student, 1 minus 2 times cos square x. Cos 2x is written as in this form, sin 2x is written as 2 times sin x cos x. And it is equals to a times sin x cos to the power b minus 3x. Okay. And it will become, and 2 times, this is 2. Okay. So basically student, it will become 2 minus b cos square x. Okay. So basically student, you can see that sin x is cancelled out by this sin x. Okay. And here is 2 present, sorry 4 present, cos x present, and inside 1 minus 2 times cos square x present. So basically in that scenario there is present 2, but in that scenario there is present 1. So student, we are going to multiplying inside this cos x and it will become 4 times, it will become cos x. 4 times cos x is 4 is outside from the root. Okay, it will become 4 times, after multiplying inside it will become 4 cos x minus and 8 cos cube x, that is equals to, student, you can see, and this can be written is inside. So basically it will become 2a cos to the power b minus 3x. 2 is this, a cos b to the power b minus 3x minus a b, and it will become cos to the power b minus 3 and 2, that is b minus 1x. Got it? A b cos b minus 3 and cos square x, it will become cos b minus x. So basically student, you can see that difference of the power in that scenario is 2. Here is 1, here is 3, there is difference 2, and there is also 2. So lesser power is compared with lesser and greater power is compared with greater. So basically student, you can see that there is 2a and there is 4. You can see that 2a is equals to 4 in that scenario and a is basically 2. You can see 4 is compared with 2a, so it will become this one, and 8 is equals to ab, 8 equals to ab. So student, you can see that after put down the value of in a in that scenario, so basically b becomes 4, A is 2, B is 4. And let us student consider if we wants to compare this thing. So basically there is power present is 1 and there is power present is B minus 3. If we put down 4 in that scenario, 4 minus 3, it will become 1. So both the things are same. And in that scenario, you can see that there is 8, and if 2 into 4 multiplied by this, it is also 8. And if we put down the value of B over this scenario, that means 4 minus 1, it will become 3, and this is also 3. So that means things are correct. Student, we need to find out A to the power 2B. A is 2 and 2B is 2 into 4. That means 2 to the power 8, and basically it will become 256. So student, we can say that value of A to the power 2B, it will become 256, and so our option B is correct, remaining options are incorrect. Next question, question number 7. Let Z denotes the set of integers. Let S in which all A occur from set of integer that satisfy this condition A square plus 3A minus 10 less than equal to 0, and T that contain all type of B elements which is belongs to set of integers, and it will satisfy the condition minus 9 less than equals to 2B minus 1 less than equals to 5. Then the number of elements in the set S intersection T. These are the options. Option A is 10, option B is 4, option C is 8, and option D is 7. So basically student, we know very well, we need to find out which type of elements in set S and which type of elements in T, and we take intersection. That means both the set have how many number of common elements. So S set have all the integers. First of all, we are going to calculate S set. All the integers that satisfying A square plus 3A minus 10 less than equals to 0. Okay student? And we know very well that we are going to factorize this thing, that A square plus 5 times A minus 2 times A minus 10 less than equals to 0, and it will become A plus 5 and A minus 2 less than equals to 0. And student, you know very well that what is Wavy-Carve method. You know very well Wavy-Carve method, and you can easily find out what are the values of Z. So basically student, Wavy-Carve method says that at which point this vector and this vector it will become 0. So basically we know very well this will become minus 5 at minus 5 and it will become 2. Student, this is a number line, and on this number line we required number only integer value. So minus 5 minus 2, and inside many of the integers are also present. So basically we are going to find which type of region this condition is satisfied. Okay student? So minus 5 2, and we know very well that student, if you put down greater than the value of 2, so let us consider we are going to put down 3 in that situation. 3 minus 2, it will become positive, and 3 plus 5, it will become positive, and product to positive number is also positive. If we take out the values in between minus 5 to 2, so let us consider we can take 0, and if we put down value of A is 0, is on this bracket we got positive value, and on this bracket in this factor we get negative value, and positive multiplied by negative it will become negative. And in that same scenario, if we put down lesser the value which is minus 5, lesser than the value of minus 5, let us consider minus 6. So it will become negative and it will become negative, and negative multiplied by it will become positive. So basically student, in that scenario we required all those A which are which satisfy this condition, less than equals to 0. Less than equals to 0, that means taking region which are negative. So student, this is the region of positive numbers, this is the number negative, and this is positive. We required only negative. So negative, that means we took all the numbers which is lying in between minus 5 to 2. All the integers, required only integers. So we need only integers. So student, minus 5 and 2 also included, because if you put down minus 5 over here, you get 0 less than equals to 0. That satisfied the condition equality. If you put down 2 on the scenario, though it will become 0 and 0 is less than equal to 0, that is right. So basically student, S set, our set S contain -5 and move on up to 2, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1 and 2. Okay student, so S contain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 elements. In the same scenario, we are going to solve. We required all B, which is from set of integer, and that satisfy this condition. -9 less than equals to 2 times B, -1 less than equals to 5. So student, first of all, we add up 1 in all the sides. So -5, 9 plus 5 plus 1, 2B -1 plus 1 less than equals to 5 plus 1. It will become -8, it will become 2B and it will become 6. After dividing by positive number 2, inequality remains same. So -8 divided by 2 less than equals to 2B divided by 2 less than equals to 6 divided by 2. 2 is cancelled out 4 times. -4 is less than equals to B is less than equals to 3. So basically student, there are B contains, B is basically from, we can say that in that scenario B can be -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So we know very well B contains set T. So set T is basically -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Okay student, and we need to find out S intersection T. Basically S intersection T, that means both the set have common elements. How many number of common elements in this in the set S and T, and that contain S intersection T, but we need to tell only the number of elements. So basically student, in both the scenario -4 is common, -3 is common, -3, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 and 3 is in this set but it not belongs to S set S. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We required only number of elements. So 7 is our full and final answer. So option D correct student, remaining options are incorrect. So I think for this question, you know, we required only wavy curve method. This is the basic inequality. And if you don't know wavy curve method, so you can also solve this problem by using case making. First case is that multiply of two numbers is negative. That means either this negative or this positive. First condition is that, or either first positive and second negative. You can solve such type of problems in that scenario also. Okay student, so our 7 questions are completed. Question number 8, consider the word success. Student, word is success, SUCCESS. Let E be the event that the word is rearranged so that 3S comes consecutively. Then the probability of event E. So student, basically event E required 3S comes consecutively. Okay student, 3 words comes consecutively, and we required E is the event, and the number of event E, number of favorable cases in event E. So basically student, first of all we are going to calculate total number of cases, and we know very well total cases, that is total number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 letters. We can arrange 7 letters in 7 factorial ways, in which S come 3 times. So divide by 3 factorial, and 2C occurs 2 times. So basically 2 factorial is also present. UE occurs 1 time. So 1 factorial, 1 factorial. Basically this is the formula for find total number of cases in arrangement of the letter, arrangement of the word success, arrangement of the letter of the word success. So basically it will become 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 factorial, and we know very well student 3 factorial as it is and 2 multiply 1 and all ones, 3 factor is cancel out this 3, 2 is occurs 2 times. Okay student, so I think it is correct, 3 times 2 times. Okay, so basically student it will become 5 into 2 10, 10 into 6 60, 60 into 4 7, that is 420. These are the total cases. So student we can say that number of such favorable cases in sample space, that is 420. Okay, and we are going to move number of elements or number of arrangements in event E in which 3s comes consecutively. So basically student, I will show that one case. First of all, those letters we required consecutively take out in a bundle. So fix as a bundle S. Let us consider as X. One letter is X. Okay. If we place over this situation, this position, this position, this position, this position, this all three S always comes together. So basically this as X and remaining how many letters are present? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 is this. So we are going to arrange 5 letters. So we know very well that 5 letters can be arranged in 5 factorial ways. We know very well student. So basically we have letter X, other is U, other is C, C and other is E. These are 4 letters we are going to arrange in for event E. So basically student we know very well there are C occurs 2 times, so basically it is divided by 2 factorial and remaining things are 1, 1 and 1, so not required for dividing, and these all 3 S are same, so not required to rearrange these letters S. If there is present A, B, C, we also need to rearrange A, B, C in 3 factorial. So we require to multiply 3 factorial. But these 3 letters S are same, so don't require to rearrange. So basically it will become 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 factorial divided by 2 factorial. This is cancelled out by this one. 5 into 4, 20, 20 into 3, that means 60. So basically student, number of such arrangements in event E is basically 60. And we know very well probability of any event E, that is basically number of such cases in event E, or we can say that number of favorable cases in event E divided by total number of cases in event in sample space S. So N of E is 60, N of S is 420. We already calculated. 0 is cancelled out by 1 by 7. So basically it will become 1 by 7. So we can say that probability of event E is 1 by 7. Okay student, option A is correct option and remaining options are incorrect. This is basic question student. This is all about basic probability. Okay student, so remaining questions, question number 9 is that. So student, question number 9 is out of 7 women, 5 men, a committee of 3 members. We required a committee of 3 members is to be formed in such a way that at least 1 member is woman. Student, in a committee of 3 members, there is a condition that at least 1 member is woman. In how many different way it can be done? So student, basically we know very well कि there are exactly 7 women and 5 men, and we required a committee of 3 members. How many members? 3 members. And there is a condition that at least 1 woman. In a committee of 3 members, there is a condition that at least 1 woman. So case first, that either 1 woman plus 2 men. Okay. Case second, there is word at least. So it can be 1, it can be 2 and it can be 3, all of 3. So 2 women, and if 2 women are present, so exactly 1 man is required for committee. And case third is Basically, student, one woman, two women, and we know very well the meaning of at least. So it can be three women. So if three women are present in a committee and we required only three members in a committee, so there is no requirement of men. So zero men. So basically, a question asks how many different ways can it be done. So out of seven women, we required one woman. So 7C1. There is a combination rule. Multiply. There is no multiply. That is the meaning that one woman, two men. Sorry, one man, one woman, two men. So seven out of seven members, seven women, we are going to select one woman, and out of five men, we required two women. So whenever the process is not completed, so we require to multiply the things. So 7C1, and out of 5 men, we require 2 men. So 5C2. This is the all possible cases in which one woman can be selected and 2 men will be selected. In same scenario, 2 women. Dekho student, 2 women, that means out of 7 women we require to select 2 women, and out of 5 men we need to 1 woman, 1 man. So 5C1. There is the also selection, although also the number of ways. And if we select a 3 women out of 7, so we required 7C3, and no required 2 men, so we are going to select 5C0. That means no selection of men. These are only the possibility in which 3 members can be select out of 7 women and 5 men. So student, 7C1 it is 7, and 5C2 that is 5 into 6 divided by 2. Okay student, I am going to calculate directly. It will become 6 into 6, 7 into 6 divided by 2, and it will become 5. 7C3 that means 7 into 6 into 5 divided by 3 into 2. Basically 7C3 it can be written as in this scenario. 5C0 it is 1. So 5 this one. So 15 into 7. 15 into 7. 7 5 is the 35, 7 85. Okay. Sorry. 85, not 85, that is 105. 7 5, 35, 7 into 7. So okay, correct. Okay. This is also 105. Because 5 into 3, 15, 15 into 7, 105. And in the same way, 3 into 2, 6, and 5 into 7, 35. And we know very well, these all the cases, we can arrange a committee of 3 members, that 105 plus 105 and 35. 5, 5, 5 and 15, that is 1, 3 into 3 and 1, 4 and 2. That is our final answer, student, is 245. I think there is a mistake. I will check. 1 minute. Student, sorry, there is a mistake. That is not 5 into 6. It will become 5 into 4. So it will become 5 to 2 ja 4. And 5 into 2, 10. And 10 into 7, that is 70. It will become 70. Okay, student. So there is a mistake. So 70 plus 105 and 35. 5 and 5, 0, 10, 7 into 3, 7 plus 3, 10, 10 into 1, 10 plus 1, 11. That is 210, our final answer. That means student, option A our is correct answer, remaining options are incorrect options. Student, there is a mistake before some time. That is 5 into 6 is wrongly written. So it will become 5 into 4, 5C2. It will be 5 factorial and 5 minus 2, 3 factorial and 2 factorial, and 5 into 4 into 3 factorial, it can be written as 3 factorial, 2 into 1, 3 into 3 and 2 into 2, that it will become basically 10. So it is 10 and into 7, 70. Okay student, so our option A is correct, remaining options are incorrect. So similarly our question 10th is, so question says that let alpha be a real number. Suppose that the straight line x plus y, that is alpha, is a tangent to the ellipse x square by 9, y square by 16 equal 1, then the value of alpha is. Student, there are option A, B, C, D. Option A plus minus 8, option B plus minus 10, option C plus minus 6, and option D plus minus 5. Basically, student, in this question, there is a present a tangent, equation of tangent on the ellipse x square by 9 plus y square by 16, that is equals to 1. So, student, basically there is given x square by 9 plus y square by 16, that is equals to 1. And on that ellipse, there is a present tangent, that is equation of tangent, present y plus x, that is equals to alpha. This is present. And we need to find out the alpha. So basically this is present, and student, we know very well, for finding alpha, we know very well that tangent on a ellipse, equation of tangent on ellipse, we know very well a direct formula, equation of tangent. It is basically y equal mx plus or minus under root a square m square plus b square. This is the formula. That is the formula of equation of tangent on the ellipse. Basically, student, what are the value of a and b? So basically we know very well that equation of ellipse x square by a square plus y square by b square, that is equals to 1. And it's by comparing both the equations, both the curve, we can say that a square, that is basically 9, and b square basically it is 16. We know very well a square is 9 and b square which is 16. And we know very well, student, also we can compare this equation. It can be written as y is x is taken right hand side, so it will become minus x plus alpha. And after comparing both the equation, we can say, student, minus x, coefficient of x is minus 1 and coefficient of x is m. So basically m, that is equals to minus 1. Okay, student? And we know very well that after comparing alpha, that is equals to plus or minus, in that scenario, alpha, that is equals to plus or minus a square m square plus b square. We know very well. Student, a is a square, that is 9, b square, that is 16, m, that is minus 1. So alpha, it will become plus or minus square root a square, that is 9, m square, that is minus 1 ki power 2 plus, and b square, basically, student, it is 16. So it will become 9 plus 16, that is root 25, and sorry, that is plus minus, and that is also plus minus. So basically, student, it will become plus or minus 5. So we can say that alpha is the real number, and we found that alpha is plus or minus 5. So we can say that our final answer for this question is option D, that is plus minus 5, and remaining options are incorrect options. Okay, student, this is basic question which is all about curve and tangent, and there is a present tangent, and we found a tangent which is, sorry, we know very well the formula for equation of tangent, and compare these things, found out the slope which is 1, that is minus 1 over here, and alpha, that is equals to this one, and after putting, we got option D is correct, remaining options are incorrect. Okay, student, so this is our part first for PGDBA 2025 up to question number 10. Okay, student, remaining questions we will cover in our next part, part number 2. Okay, student, thank you.